Look, one of the biggest lessons that life has taught me is this. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not your thoughts, not your plans, not your pain, and definitely not every detail of your life. But somewhere along the way, we have been taught that being open all the time is a sign of authenticity. That if we are honest enough, if we are vulnerable enough and transparent enough to others, people will start to understand us. But here's what life quietly teaches you along the way. That being open and being wise are not the same thing. Some people celebrate you, some people study you, some even support you, and some simply collect information about you. That is why I've learned that silence is not really a weakness. Sometimes silence is wisdom. Sometimes it's protection, peace. Now, before we begin, I want to tell you something, okay? I have actually made a video on this topic a long time ago, and some of you may even kind of remember it, but over time, it has obviously quietly disappeared into the sea of videos, of YouTube videos. So, the funny thing is that the older that I've gotten, the more that I've realized that this message is even more important than it was back then. So, I didn't want to simply just re-upload this video, okay? I wanted to sit down with you again and revisit these lessons with fresh eyes and share what life has taught me since then. Because if there is one conversation that I believe is worth having more than once, this is one of them. So today, I want to share with you 5 things that I believe you should stop telling people. That you are better off not telling others, not because you should become very secretive or anything like that, but simply because some parts of your life deserve to be protected. So let's begin. Let's start off with money, okay? Not because money is everything, but simply because people have often made it everything, okay? You do not need to announce your salary. You do not need to explain your savings. You don't need to tell people what you spend on your new car, what you spend on your business or your vacation. Because here's the thing, the moment that people know your numbers, they stop seeing you the same way, okay? Some people will start to assume that you have more than you actually do, and others will compare their lives with you without ever really telling you. And some may even begin to expect things from you that were never really your responsibility in the first place. Honestly, it's really interesting how quickly generosity becomes obligation once people believe that you are doing well. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand me, because there are people that you should talk to about money. For example, a financial advisor, maybe a trusted mentor, your spouse, someone who's genuinely helping you make wise decisions. But that is very different from making your financial life public. You need to understand that your bank account doesn't define your value. And people who truly care about you don't need to know every number that is attached to your name. So let your lifestyle whisper the type of person you truly are. You don't have to prove your success, and you certainly do not need to explain it. Protect your peace. Number 2, your deepest insecurity. We all have insecurities as part of being human. Every single one of us has insecurities. It's just that some people hide them better than others. For example, maybe you struggle with rejection. Maybe you don't feel good enough about yourself. Maybe you've spent years comparing yourself with everyone around you. And those feelings are real, they are very much real. But here's what I have learned. Not everyone deserves access to the parts of you that are still in the process of healing. You see, healing is something that requires safe hands, okay? And there are people who will listen with compassion, They will pray with you. They will encourage you. They will remind you who you are. Okay? Those people exist. But there are also those who are quietly collecting your weaknesses. And it's not because they are pure evil, but sometimes people are simply immature, okay? And sometimes they don't know how to carry another person's pain. And sometimes they end up using your vulnerability against you the moment that your relationship with each other changes. So before you open your heart, I want you to ask yourself, has this person earned the right to hear my story? Now, trust isn't built because someone asks personal questions. Trust is built over time. It's built through consistency, through loyalty, through love. Protect the parts of yourself that are still becoming whole. Because not every unfinished chapter belongs to an audience. Number 3, your next big move. Can I be honest, okay? This one took me years to learn, okay? When something exciting happens, our first instinct is to tell everyone, okay? We got a new opportunity. We started a new business. We're moving to a new place. We're writing a new book. We're launching a dream. We've carried for years, and before we even taken the first real step, we are already announcing it to the world. But here's the problem, okay? Dreams are very fragile in the beginning. They are like seed, okay? You don't dig up a seed every morning just to check if it's growing, okay? You water it, you protect it, you give it time, and then one day, everyone sees the tree, okay? Not everyone will understand your vision. Some people will even laugh at you. They will doubt you. And others don't mean any harm at all. They just simply are trying to protect their fears. Like trying to project their fears onto your future. So don't let someone else's limitation become your ceiling, okay? Build quietly, work consistently, and let your results introduce who you are, not your announcements. Number 4, your family problems. Families are a beautiful thing, but families can also be messy, and sometimes they're both at the same time. Now, every family has its disagreements and its quarrel, and every family goes through difficult seasons, but not every argument belongs on the internet. Not every misunderstanding needs to be announced to the world. The internet, yes, it rewards drama, that is a fact, okay? But the more personal the story, the more attention it gets. And attention isn't healing. Healing is something that usually happens in quiet conversations, in forgiveness, in prayer, in humility. Sometimes behind closed doors rather than out there. And now I know it's very tempting to share when you are hurt in a world that does that. We all want someone to understand. But strangers can't always carry what only love and wisdom and time can restore. Some stories aren't yours to tell alone, okay? Protect the people that you love, even when they're being difficult, because once something private becomes public, it's not something that you can get back, okay? You need to understand the severity of that. Number 5, who you secretly dislike. Let's be honest, okay? You're not going to like everyone. That is a fact, okay? Some people it's for you, some people it's not for you, okay? You're for some people and you're not for some people. And that is okay because you are allowed to disagree with people. You are allowed to create distance. You are allowed to walk away from some people, but you don't have to announce this to the world, okay? You don't have to turn another person's name into your daily conversation. I have noticed over the years that some people are truly at peace, don't spend much time tearing others down, okay? And it's not because everyone deserves praise and like they only see the positive sides of people, but simply because peace is very expensive. And honestly, bitterness costs too much. Every conversation is feeding something, and it's either feeding wisdom or it's feeding resentment. So you gotta choose wisely. Silence is often the strongest boundary that you can ever set. Not every opinion deserves a microphone. Now, before we finish off this video, can I leave one final thought with you? Privacy isn't about hiding from the world, okay? It's about protecting. And there's a difference, okay? Because you can be kind without explaining everything. And you can be authentic without exposing everything. And you can be honest without making your entire life something public. And as you grow older, you will come to realize something very beautiful, okay? And that's the fact that people who know the most about you usually aren't the people who hear the most from you. They're the people who've earned your trust. So choose carefully who gets access to your heart, and choose carefully who gets access to your dreams, and choose carefully who gets access to your story. Because your peace is precious, very much so, and not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life and to the life that you are building. So here's what I want you to remember, okay? You can share your wisdom, share your kindness, share your encouragements, share your testimony after you have made it through the storm. But protect what is still growing, okay? Some things are just too sacred to be placed in the hands of people who haven't earned the privilege of holding them. Growing up isn't really about learning how to speak more, okay? Sometimes it's about learning what deserves your silence. You don't need to become secretive. That is not what I'm saying. I'm repeating this. You do not need to hide who you are from the world. But you don't have to be, and you don't have to become discreet, okay? Because peace isn't something the world gives to you. It's something that you choose to protect. And with that said, I want to thank you for spending these few minutes with me. If this message has spoke to you, I really hope that you'll carry it into your week. And yes, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and keep growing. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.